What is health? Can I ask that question? What is health? Anyone? EMA members are all very intelligent people. Come and tell me what is health. You want to know about health, right? And I think most of you now in your mind are having, when there is no disease, you are healthy, which is not true. You are not healthy when you don't have a disease, and having a disease is not making you unhealthy. There are people with disease who are very healthy, they are productive, they contribute to society. For example, Steve Hawking had a very bad disease, but nothing happened. He worked all the time, and he has produced so much things. So it is not, disease is not, health is not absence of disease. That's a negative connotation given to it by the WHO, because they want to make industry out of it, money out of it. So if you want to know whether you're healthy or not, you must go for a checkup, right? And checkup is an industry. Checkup is a big industry. So that is how it is. No, you will know how whether you're healthy or not by yourself. You don't have to go to a doctor. Ayurveda, the Indian great science, which is the mother of all medical wisdoms, probably had the best definition, which said, Samadatuhu samagnischa, samadosha malakreha, prasannatma indriya manaha swastha ityabhidiyate. How true. If you have all your dhatus and your other things balanced, and if you keep everything in moderation, food, walking, exercise, everything in moderation, and if you do not hate nobody, and if you keep your mind free and filled with compassion, you are very healthy. You don't have to worry. So you get up in the morning and ask yourself, you piss well, you shit well, you talk well, you sleep well, you eat well, you work well, you are healthy. You don't have to worry. But the most important part is, the real boss is not any one of these things, but your mind. Where is the mind? Sorry? Where is the mind? Nobody knows. That's a good question. If nobody knows about the mind after in 2018, I think it's too much. Location of mind. Okay. Time was when people thought, medical scientists thought mind is the brain, for which one person got the Nobel Prize. He was a Canadian neurosurgeon. But Wilder Penfield was the name. He got the Nobel Prize for saying that the brain is the seat of the mind. But now we know, Penfield himself has written in 71 and 56 two papers saying that, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Brain is a small organ, a part of the body. But mind is your consciousness, your whole consciousness. And mind is a canvas on which your thoughts are projected. And every cell in your body has a mind. Remember that. Every cell in your body has a mind. How many cells do you have in your body? 120 trillion cells. So all these 120 trillion cells have a mind. They love one another. And if you take a biophoton camera, not this camera, but a biophoton camera, you can see your cells happily dancing together and dancing with one another and loving one another. And if you see two friends sitting together and then photograph them, you see their cells talking to each other. So they love one another. Now imagine for a minute that if in such a situation you hate someone, which most of us do most of the time, the cells get confused. He says, why is he doing this? I love the other man's cells. He is hating him. So if you keep on doing that in spite of that, and keep on hating other people, because hatred is the biggest disease generator. Hatred is an enemy of mankind. Do not hate nobody, because it's the biggest distress on you. So if you keep on hating, at a stage your own cells start hating your own cells. And this is a stage where it's very dangerous. It's called autoimmune disease. Your own body cells try to destroy your own body cells. No one else's body cells. They are not destroying anyone else but your own body cells. That's because you hate someone else. So the moral of the story is, hatred is your enemy number one. And I would like to tell you something, instead of telling what all is written in the books and what you have read. I will tell you what are the myths which have to be demolished in medicine. Because Karl Popper, a great thinker, who was the professor of science philosophy in the London School of Economics in the 50s, had one principle. Knowledge, he said, I am quoting him, knowledge advances not by repeating known things, but by refuting false dogmas, of which there are many in medicine. One is, you must have run marathon. A lot of people run a marathon. Let me assure you that running a marathon is a bad exercise. It's bad for health and it's one of the disease producers. And running a marathon is one of the ways of detecting falsely some people whom we can make money out of. That's an industry. So running a marathon is a bad thing. 2, you must eat 10 times a day or 4 times a day or 8 times a day or 1 time a day. All these are myths. We still don't know how many times you have to eat. There are people who are very healthy eating once a day. I have seen a lot of Jain sannyasis who do just take a little food and they are happy. I have seen people who gorge food 10 times a day and still doing well. So it all depends on your body constitution and different people are different. No two individuals are alike in this world. So most of our medical studies in science, what are called medical science, are false because we compare individuals. You can't compare 2 individuals because 2 individuals are not the same. They cannot be the same and they cannot do the same thing. But what we do is we take them as RCT, randomized control trials. And recently it was found that these RCTs on which most of medical science is based are a fake. So you can understand how we base our scientific data on wrong scientific methods. And today science is not free. Science actually is so clustered and cloistered and imprisoned. Science is a prisoner of money because money grant comes and one who gets more grant is a bigger scientist. Yesterday I was traveling, I was having a couple of my colleagues in the university in the olden days before I retired, and one of them is still continuing to be called a scientist. He has not produced nothing, but he has produced so many papers and got so much of grant. The university likes him because he gets 2 to 3 crores of rupees every year for the university. So they say he is the best scientist. And this is what science is all about. And if you want to know what science is and where science is going, please read this book, Science Set Free. The book's name is Science Set Free, written by a great scientist called Sheldrake. And Robert Sheldrake, is a great scientist in Cambridge University. And Bob has written this book because he showed how science is all now being imprisoned by money and greed and publication and grants. You take grant from people and then you can't give a negative report because the next grant won't come. For example, one of the calamities that most of you have felt, yesterday I felt it in the India International Center when I came. When I asked for an omelette, he said, white egg omelette? I said, no, egg omelette, whole egg omelette. Even the yellow? I said, yes, of course, yellow is a part of the egg. And if you don't have the egg, it's not egg. White of an egg is not egg. Egg is egg. Now they are worried about because the yellow contains fat, I believe. And some people don't even look at fat. Forget about eating fat. They don't even look at fat. They just shun fat. Actually, fat is very good for health. Fat is good for the heart. And fat must be eaten. But in moderation. You don't gorge on fat. But fat is not bad. Whoever has told fat is bad, I have based that on a wrong study. And this I'll tell you the study. There's a man called Ansel Keys. Ansel Keys was a biochemist. His wife was a physiologist. So 2 of them together got a grant, nearly $50,000 from the government, to study the effect of fat on heart. So they went on a honeymoon tour of about 22 countries, collecting data about fat and heart disease. They collected and then came home. When they plotted it on the graph, they found there is no correlation between the two at all, the amount of fat you eat and heart disease. They can't give that data to the government because $56,000 will have to be returned, or they will not get the next grant. So what they did was they sat at night and removed country by country by country. From the 22 countries, they reduced it to 7 countries, where there was some sort of a correlation. So they called it the famous Ansel Case 7-country study. And today what you read in the textbooks or on the newspaper is 7-country study, which says fat is the cause of heart disease, fat is the cause of atherosclerosis, which comes down, etc., etc. It's all myth, but it still gets perpetuated because that was done because Ansel Case had to keep his grant going and get the next grant coming. If you go through most of the studies in medicine, they are based on this kind of a data. So don't believe most of what is said. And very interesting thing is, you know when something is not good, your body tells you it's not good. Supposing you overeat, let us say, you eat more, then you feel uneasy. Have you ever felt that? you don't feel easy. When if you eat little less than what you think you can, then you are comfortable. Supposing you think you can eat 4 chapatis and end up with only eating 2 chapatis, you are very comfortable that day. If you think you can eat 4 chapatis and by mistake the chapati is so good that you eat, that's very nice of you. So a very good man. I just wanted some hot water. So he has thought about it, not forgotten it. And no, it's all right. Don't worry. And he has brought it. Good man.
Thank you, sir.
Your blood pressure will come down. So, eating in moderation is a very good thing, healthy thing, and your own body tells you it's good. Actually, if you eat very early in the evening and then take about 3 hours before you go to bed, you will get very good sleep and you feel comfortable. Supposing you gorge a lot of food, let us say there's a conference and it ends at 10 o'clock, it usually runs behind time, most conferences do, and then you go and eat, there's a lot of food because it's Taj Vivanta and the food is good and the chicken is very nice, so eat a lot, then go home, you feel discomfort, then you lie down, you don't get sleep. And even if you do get sleep, it's not a comfortable sleep. Whereas you eat very early, like the Jains, before the sun sets, and then sleep after 10 o'clock, you get sound sleep without any problem whatsoever. So, your own body tells you what is good and what is bad, instead of the doctor telling you what is good and what is bad. Now, don't overeat, number 1. Number 2, do not eat when you are not hungry. In nature, no animal eats when it is not hungry, except man. Because you are told in school, you must have a breakfast at 8 o'clock, and lunch at 1 o'clock, and evening tea at 4 o'clock, otherwise the tea break is all broken. Then you have evening dinner. No, you feel hungry, eat, whatever time it is. And whatever meal you want to call it, doesn't matter. But eat. But don't eat when you are not hungry. And after you eat, don't gorge very fast. Now, I like that man saying 2 minutes for breakfast is bad, because even if you wait 2 minutes, you eat a lot of breakfast, your brain doesn't get the message, because it takes about 45 minutes for the message to go from the stomach to the brain saying that, well, I am full now, I don't want any more food. So if you eat gradually, slowly, yes sir? If you eat gradually and slowly, your stomach will tell your brain, now look, this is enough, we don't want any more. Or the stomach will tell, we want more, and it's not enough. So you do it slowly, take your own time, and then eat in comfort. Now what you eat is not important. This is very important. What you eat is least important. You can eat anything you like. A lot of people are there. You sit and say, does it contain cholesterol? Does it contain fat? Is it oil? Is it oily? It's oil filled? It's deep fried? Why are you worried? Irrespective of what it is, do you like it? Eat it. But don't overeat it. And eat it less than what you think you should eat. And that's the principle for food. And I'm not going to tell you what diet to take. Now, if I were to tell you something, I would be happy if you are a vegetarian. Because we are physiologically vegetarians. Look at our teeth. Look at our gut, which is about 29 feet. Meat-eating animal like even a ferocious lion has only about 8 feet gut. So whatever it eats now will go out in 4 hours time. Whatever you eat today, it will go out either tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So it will remain inside. And second thing is, meat-eating animals do not eat cooked meat. Only man eats cooked meat. Cooked meat is poison. When meat is cooked, the chemicals change and the amino acids fuse. And cooked meat is not a diet at all. I don't know why we eat cooked meat at all. A lot of people think if you don't eat meat, you don't get protein. I tell them, you come and see our elephants in the temples. They don't eat meat at all. They eat only leaves. And if you can fight an elephant and win, then I think meat eating is better. And very interestingly, when you eat vegetables, you feel very comfortable. You are not very ferocious also. When you eat meat, you are very ferocious. You want to feel like fighting with someone. But the vegetarian food will give you, the sattvic diet will give you tranquility of mind, which is a very important part. Now then, what about exercise? A lot of people think early morning you must get up, put on a trouser and run, jog, they say. Jogging is very, very bad for health. Jogging is very, very bad. Did I say that? Shall I repeat that? You should not jog because jogging will destroy your ankle joint, jogging will destroy your knee joint, and jogging is not good for the heart also. But walking is good. Man is meant to walk, and we are two-legged animals, so we should only walk. Four-legged animals like dogs can run. When you're four-legged, you have your center of gravity inside your base. When you have two legs, when you run, your center of gravity falls out each time, and that's balanced by your knee. So if you are a mile runner, at the end of the day, you will probably have, when you grow a little older, your knee joints are so bad that you can't walk. And we see a lot of these women who put on a lot of weight, they can't walk because their knee joints are very, very bad. So you must try to sort of walk every day. Walking is very good. Next is cycling is good. The third is swimming is good. But you don't try to start learning swimming at the age of 40. If you know swimming and if you are good at swimming, swimming is a very good exercise. If you are not good at swimming, don't try to learn swimming at the age of 40 because you will drown in the water. Then the next best thing is exercise what time of the day, preferably on empty stomach when you don't have too much of food. But do not exercise on full stomach at all because it will load the heart very heavily. That's why a full meal is called a hearty meal. Have you heard of that? It's a hearty meal. Why do they call it a hearty meal? The one part of the body which a food, when you overeat and touches, is the heart. Each time you eat a big meal, the heart has to supply so much of blood to the gut that the heart overworks. So having a big meal is like running a mile. It's almost as much as that. And then if you overexert on that, like for example, there are a lot of people who say, I will walk after meal. No, never do that. Walk before a meal and then eat. After meal, after walk, you just sit for a little while, relax, and then have a meal. So don't eat it first. Now, third thing is, what about your relaxation? What is relaxation? Whatever is good for you, it's good relaxation. Somebody said, do you enjoy music? Yes, I do. But I don't die for music. So if you love music, go ahead. Music will give you relaxation. If you love playing cards, go ahead. It will give you relaxation. If you love talking to people, go ahead, do that. But very interesting thing happened. Recently they did a study, like the study in Ayurveda for what's called observational research. Thousands of years you observe a group of people. Unlike what we do in medicine called cross-sectional research, we take about 100 people, study them in two groups, and then come to conclusions immediately. So one day you say coffee is good, next day you say coffee is bad. Third day this scientific study says tea is good. And the fourth day study says tea is very bad for health. So all these are because the study is wrong. Now this is a very interesting study that's going on and it's almost complete now. This is called the Harvard Alumni Study. Those who joined the Harvard University in 1930s and who are still alive, many of them have died, 90 years they have died. So if they are alive, they are being followed up. If they are dead also, they are being followed up to find out how they died. Three important things came out in this study. Mark my words now. Remember this very clearly. Three things came out. A, drinking alcohol is very bad for health. Drinking alcohol is very bad for health. I am repeating it a second time. Because a lot of doctors tell you, drink a little couple of pecks of wine, red wine, it is good for your heart. Absolute myth. There's nothing. Even a drop of alcohol is not good for health. I am not saying a drop of alcohol is bad for health, but there is no evidence to say that even a drop of alcohol is good for health. Alcohol is not good for health at all. Alcohol damages the liver, of course, first. Alcohol damages the heart irreparably. There's what's called alcoholic cardiomyopathy, which is a very dangerous disease. Man drops down dead. But that cannot be corrected at all. There's no treatment for that. And then alcohol is bad. 2, tobacco is an enemy number 1. 3, having friends, relations, and happiness, and the more number of friends and relations you are happy with, longer you live, healthier you live, happier you live. So only 3 things. A, don't drink alcohol. B, don't smoke. 3, have lot of friends. Talk to them daily. Make them happy. Make another person happy. You will be happy. How to be happy? Christina, an American poet, has said, if love is what you give away, love is what comes back each day like a mirror. So if happiness is what you give away, happiness is what comes back each day. Supposing I give a lot of happiness to Shah Sahab, Happiness will come to me from someone else. Shah Sahab will be happy because of me, but I'll be happy because of someone else. Gratitude is the biggest thing. That's the Indian philosophy also says that. Sorry, this is the Delhi weather. The throat gets, slightly inflamed in the weather. Cold air goes in. And the cold air should not go into the throat. The cold air should enter the nose. By the time it comes to the throat, it must be 97 degrees centigrade in Fahrenheit. But here what happens, Delhi weather, sometimes the cold is so cold that the air comes to the throat also cold. And then it's bad. And also the eustachian tube. The cold enters through the external ear and goes and hits the outer part of the eardrum. And the whole middle ear gets inflamed. And that changes your voice, gives you this little hacking cough. Number 3. So 3 things came out in this study. 3 things. A study of 90 years. No study has been done in... Now we say, diabetes is bad, hypertension is bad, your blood pressure is bad. We frighten people, right? But is it true? MRFIT study is a large study which studied for 25 years. Multiple risk factor intervention trial. We showed that there are no risk factors at all. Even if there are risk factors, even if you control them, the risk, if there is any, is not controlled. Supposing, let us say, blood pressure is bad. Let us say blood pressure is bad. I am not saying blood pressure is bad. If you control the blood pressure with drugs, the badness, the whatever bad thing you think, will not go away. That will remain. The blood pressure, of course, might be, the record may be good. Diabetes is bad. Your readings may be, every day you go to the doctor and take a reading because you are almost obsessed about it. It may be true, but if diabetes does something else, which is as a consequence of diabetes, that consequence will remain. So the MRFIT study showed, I quote again, there are no risk factors, full stop. The so-called risk factors can be controlled very easily with drugs or intervention, but the risk is not ever removed completely. Now, second thing is, see, nature evolves, and we were like the snake. Let us say we evolved from the snake. From the monkeys, then we came up. In the snake, there is no coronary circulation at all, so the snake doesn't get a heart attack. Why did nature give us a coronary circulation to give heart attack? Probably we needed it. So now we have a special circulation for the heart itself called coronary circulation. There are vessels. Now this is a big business for us. Now we can always, when you go somewhere and say chest, or you go for a complete checkup, they first make you run on a treadmill. That's called GTT. Not GTT. That's called TMT. They make you run on that. And then see the ECG. When you're running, the ECG usually is either up or down. So it doesn't really mean much. But they say it's borderline positive. Then they'll say we'll do an angiogram. Absolutely no idea, because angiogram is not a diagnostic test of anything. Because even school-going children, if you do an angiogram, they will have blocks. But once you are doing an angiogram, they see a block and then frighten you and say, look, you have a block in this vessel. So I can't even let you go home. You must have an operation right now, or you must have a stunt. I call it a stunt, not stent. Right now. Then you say, why doctor, I have to go home and come. No, I can't assure you. You may go home, but I can't assure you that you will come back alive. But I'll tell you one very simple method to get out of that. You simply tell them, doctor, I'm sorry, I don't have the money. I'll get some money and then come back. They won't touch you. Then they'll say, don't worry, you can get some medicines, it's all right. But otherwise they'll say, okay, he's from EMA, then 10 lakhs is nothing, so I must bakrafy him and get him and then do an angiogram and do it. Because how many people in India can afford 10 lakhs? And they frighten the wives first. They say, look, your husband's condition is very, very bad. Then she'll say, okay, I'll sell my Mangal Sutra and also get an angiogram done. So angiograms are done left, right and center for people. A lot of people send me an angiogram and say, now tell me what's to be done. So I tell them, I don't know what to do for the angiogram, but I know what to do for your father or mother, but I must examine them first. You see, today clinical medicine has died. You go to the doctor, nobody examines you. They just write tests, a battery of tests, and then write about 100 medicines. It's like a laundry list. The other day, one very senior orthopedic surgeon in Madras, very famous name, he phoned me up and said, I want you to examine me. I said, okay, come. Then he came with a file, which is about this thick, from National Hospital in Singapore. He said, see, they have done all that and they have given these medicines, but I am not feeling better. I said, I must examine you. He said, what do you mean? They have examined me. See this whole file there? I said, I don't know. I am not treating that file. I am treating you, Mr. So-and-so or Dr. So-and-so. He said, are you serious? Yes, sir. I said, I am absolutely serious. Strip down, take off your shirt, lie down, and I'll examine you. I examined him for about half an hour, didn't ask for any test, and I told him, you don't require any one of these medicines. Throw them into the waste paper basket, and I'll give you one medicine, you'll be all right. And he is much better, and he's absolutely fine now. Now, he went and told his wife, who is also a doctor, that man examined me like a third-year medical student. She said, yes, that's the right thing. We were all taught like that. Have you forgotten that? Our teachers used to do that. That's called clinical medicine. That has died. At the end of the clinical medicine, you must have a diagnosis. And to refute that or to confirm that, you do one or maximum two tests. That's all what is needed. So, once in a year or once in 2 years, I just get my blood sugar done. And in case, I don't know, I'm not a diabetic, but in case I should be a diabetic, I just get a blood sugar done. And I also get a creatinine done to see if my kidney is okay, is up and running. So these kind of things, one or two tests, but today if you go, my God, fat profile, I believe, 100 things, LDL, HDL, ABCDL, it's caste system, like, this Kritiyas, Vaishyas, that kind of a thing. And now, very interesting thing, this week, yesterday, somebody sent me from America a data which said American associations of doctors have declared 12 things not to be done in medicine because they are not only not needed, they can be dangerous. One, this TMT test should not be done because it's not reliable at all. Its specificity and sensitivity is less than 50%. Two, colonoscopies. Everybody goes after 50. If you say, I have got some tummy ache, the doctor will ask you to lie down and then put a tube behind at your bottom and then look through you. And in this process, he can even puncture the gut and give you a lot of problems. And this does not help the patient at all. On the contrary, it can detect unnecessarily simple things which are made into big things and operated upon. So that's the second thing. Like that, 12 things are there. If any one of you is interested, I'll send the whole list to you for EMA, and you can circulate to your members. Do not go to the doctors to get these 12 things done. Even it says, operating on a pregnant woman before the 39th week, for simply by saying that the child may be big, or child may come out, is not good because the child will not survive. Even if it survives, it's not a healthy child. So, lot of these things, 12 things are there. So, we do lot of things. We overdo lot of things which should not be done. So, medicine is not a very complicated thing. Medicine is a very simple thing. Now, who is the boss in the whole human body? The mind. And if you know how to control your mind, you can control your body, you can control your health, you can control probably the whole family, everything. And I always say, mind your mind and it will look after the other things. Now, a block in the coronary artery does not give you heart attack. An American doctor called Valentine Fuster did a study in New York where he did an angiogram on healthy 100 people and showed a lot of blocks and wrote down, if this man were to get a heart attack, he should get a heart attack here because his artery is blocked. And after about 15 years, he saw a few of them had heart attack. But none of them, mark my words, none of them had a heart attack where there was a block. So heart attack comes when the mind is unstable. Heart attack comes when the mind is filled with hatred. Heart attack comes when the mind is not in peace. And heart attack comes when the mind is agitated. So keep your mind under control. Even with all the vessels blocked, you will still be healthy. I had a patient about 40 years ago, at which time he was 50 years old. And his children brought him to me. And he had gone to Bombay for a checkup and they had done an angiogram. All the vessels in his heart were blocked. Every single vessel in his heart were blocked. Every single vessel in his heart was blocked. Then I told him, how are you alive? So I saw the angiogram. I saw nature had done a lot of bypass already. That's called collateral. So I told him, you don't have to have anything. You just be happy. You will be happy and you will live as long as you live. His children thought, they said, oh, this village doctor, they're all in New York, you see. This village doctor doesn't know, we'll take our dad to America. So they took him there. So they took him to the Mayo Clinic and then told the Mayo Clinic doctor, see, this is our father, this is what happened, this is what the doctor said. The doctor examined him and then looked at the angiograms and said, ask your dad to go home. And he was a Catholic, enjoys a peg of whiskey. Ask him to have a peg of whiskey at night and enjoy life. He will now, nothing will happen to him. He doesn't require anything. So he came back. Do you know how old he is? 97 now, 97. And if you can see him in Mangalore roads, because he came and told me about a year ago, I feel bored, what do I do? So I told him, okay, I'll talk to the police people. You be the traffic warden. Instead of sitting at home, you stand in Hampankatta, there is a center of Mangalore, and drive the traffic. So now you can see this old man, 97-year-old man, standing in the road, main road, directing traffic. And the police have given him a uniform. So he is very happy about it, and he will not die for some more time. So happiness keeps you alive. He did not have one block. Every vessel was blocked. Remember that every vessel was blocked. But nature does a lot of bypasses. This is what I want to tell you. One thing you must remember. Another fact is, your own body is built to last when it is first built and sent here. The maker, whoever he is, if you believe in God, you call it God. If you believe in nature, you call it as nature. Whoever made it in such a way that put a repair system also inside. Many garages have a repair system, repair shed. So that's called the immune system. And the immune system is inculcated into the body and inbuilt in the body, so that whatever happens, the immune system will heal. Now, even if a surgeon does an operation, healing is done by the immune system. You see that? My former chief in Harvard, who is a Nobel laureate, did a very interesting study when I was a student there in the 90s. We had about 600 patients sent up for bypass surgery from various doctors in the Massachusetts area. And he had a team of scientists, and they found none of them, mark my words, none of them needed bypass surgery. So he devised a study to show how interesting it is. So at random, he had 3 theaters, Theatre A, Theatre C. In Theatre A, he said, you send the patient in, simply send the patient in, don't tell anything. You anesthetize the patient and operate, and then send him out. Theatre B, you send the patient in, you anesthetize the patient, make him lie down, sleep for 1 hour, 2 hours, wake him up, and when he wakes up, tell him he is fine, and send him away. Theatre number 3, don't do nothing, but when he comes, you say, your heart is fine, and send him away. And now, after 10 years, looking back, Theatre 3, everybody is fine. Theatre B, most of them are fine. Theatre A, half of them are dead. The other half are still, suffering from drugs and various other things. So, what is important is your mind. If you believe you are fine, and your body heals so beautifully, and it does it himself. You have a cut. You just watch the cut. Within 2 or 3 days, the cut starts getting healed, and the 4th or 5th day, the skin completely heals. 5th or 6th day, the debris comes out. And the 7th or 8th day, you don't even see the scar. All this is because the body has got a mechanism which corrects itself. But you can spoil that mechanism. Ayurveda is all about keeping the immune system intact. That's what's called Panchakarma in Ayurveda, which keeps the immune system alert and up and working all the time. And periodic Panchakarma gives you a boost to your immune system. And when the immune system is fine, you are fine. When the immune system is not fine, you are not fine. But Western medicine doesn't believe in that because they want to have a molecule. Now recently 2 scientists, Japanese scientists, one Japanese and one American scientist, they found out how the immune system cells work with the body cells when they need it. They showed that they have a hand, they shake hands and hug each other. And that can be made into a tablet or a molecule. So immediately the drug companies caught hold of that man and made him get the Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize you think is all because of very nice things. No, Nobel Prize is also money. The drug companies influence most of the Nobel Prizes, and the Nobel Prizes are given by the drug company influence. So this man immediately gets a Nobel Prize. There is nothing new thought. Immune system is an old hat, and Ayurveda also knew about it. Nobody bothered. Now that they can make a molecule out of it, thus they have made a big thing and given him a Nobel Prize. Now you probably have heard about a disease called AIDS, right? How many of you have heard about AIDS? Good, everybody has heard. What's the cause of AIDS? Yes? 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 Immune system. Why? Why? Of course, AIDS means acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Why is the immune system failing? We have made a connection. We said it's due to HIV virus. Right? You have heard of that? But there are two people, one Nobel laureate and a professor of microbiology have written a book. His name is Peter Duesberg. He has written a book called Inventing the AIDS Virus. What's the book's name? Inventing the AIDS Virus, in which Carrie Mullis, who is the other co-author, and Carrie is a Nobel laureate, biochemist. He has written, Peter and I don't know what causes AIDS, but Peter and I know one thing for certain, and that is HIV virus does not cause AIDS. Quote, unquote. Who said that? Carrie Mullis. Who is he? A Nobel laureate. Now that, instead of that, in spite of that, the government and the hospital doctors give you treatment for HIV virus. There are prostitutes in San Francisco who were HIV positive in 1981, still alive and healthy and kicking, and nothing has happened to them. But still we say AIDS is due to HIV virus. We don't know what AIDS is due to, but we do know one thing. AIDS is due to immune deficiency of various causes. One of the very important causes of immune deficiency is our own drugs. Because we always believe very faithfully, most of you probably. One young man was telling me today, sir, till I saw one of your videos, for every headache, even a small headache, I used to take a crocin tablet. Now I don't do that and my headache is gone. Actually, crocin is one of the most dangerous tablets. I always tell people, there is no pill for every ill. Remember that? There is no pill for every ill, but there is an ill following every pill. And which is true. So there is no pill where there is no ill following it. So if you don't want to have any illnesses, try to avoid pills like poison if possible. That does not mean you should not take pills at all. When the need comes, you may have to take it. Like for example, you have an infection. Let's say you are young, you have a pneumonia with a curable pneumonia, and you have an antibiotic which cures it like penicillin. You can't refuse that. So you have got to take it when the need comes. But for silly things, taking everything for a medicine, for a pain there is one pill, for constipation there is one pill, for sleep there is one pill, for waking up there is one pill, for eating one pill, for sleeping one pill. No, that's a bad habit. And I have coined a new term called health expectancy. You all know life expectancy. The number of years a newborn child can expect to live. But I have called a new thing, health expectancy. A number of years a newborn child can expect to live without tablets and doctors, which is lowest in America and highest in India. I am seeing patients here, 80-year-old people who have not seen doctors at all in the villages. Whereas in America, nobody beyond 30 does not have less than one tablet a day as a routine. Everybody has tablets, at least some supplements. Whereas in India, people have not seen doctors at all up to 80 years, and they are happy. The next fad that we all have is, if you don't have it, your wife will tell you, go for a checkup. What is this checkup? I don't know. When you are healthy, why checkup? You can't get health in the doctors. You can't get justice in the court. You can't get honor in the police station. You can't go to the police and say, look after me, you honor me. He'll kick you and send you. You go to the court and tell the judge, I want justice. He'll also do the same thing. You go to the doctor and say, give me health. Actually, one of the great scientists said, those who think that doctors and hospitals keep society healthy are fools. Actually, American study showed in the 30s, during depression, health was very bad there. Then health improved. And that contribution of medicine and doctors was 3.1% in that. 88% was due to civil engineers who did sewerage, cleaning, underwater drainage, toilets, etc. And food. And then education, information. Knowing about diseases, you become wiser. Supposing you are in the dark, you don't know anything, people can take you for a ride. As I told you, you can be told there's a block in the vessel and you can be taken for a ride. But if you know that a block can be bypassed by nature and you ask the doctor, show me the collaterals, doctor, he won't show you that first, because if he shows that, his business will go. So once he shows the collaterals, you know you don't require any bypass surgery to be done, because only cosmetic bypass can be done by the doctors. The better bypass is done by nature, because when nature does bypass, it's natural vessel. When doctor does bypass, it's artificial vessel, and the artificial vessels clog off very fast. Natural vessels don't clog off; they are very fine. So happiness is the only thing that keeps the immune system going, and happiness is the key to a healthy immune system. And happiness comes by helping others. That's why, corporates also have started this called CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility. Giving, the art of giving. You should learn the art of giving. Art of taking is very easy, but giving is difficult. When you know the art of giving, your health will improve. So the secret to the whole healthy life is a healthy mind. And where is the mind? Never mind. But the mind is where it is, and the mind has to be kept free, and the mind has to be kept healthy by not hating nobody. I always teach people, when you do pranayama, you can just breathe in saying that, let health go in, and then breathe out saying that, let diseases go out. You say, let happiness go in, let sadness come out. You say, let happiness go in, and let hatred and other jealousy, ego, pride, all the negative things go out. But the negative things are put in by society. Now, for example, a child is born like a god. Child doesn't know anything. The day you send the child to school, the child is graded. Your first grade, your second grade, your third grade, your first rank, your second rank. Then they compete with others. Competing with others is mediocrity. But competing with oneself is excellence. So tell the child, you improve every day by competing with yourself, not by being first rank in the class. So this first rank business is the one that kills and spoils your mind. So, for example, how corruption comes because of this first rank business only. Supposing an IAS officer, all IAS officers are paid the same. Supposing one IAS officer wants to be richer than the others, he has to be corrupt. So corruption starts by trying to get the first rank. But if you try to get excellent and you want to improve yourself, you become an excellent human being with a wonderful mind, healthy heart, live long, and live disease-free as long as you live. And that's the secret of longevity, secret of good life, secret of health. So you don't have to go in search of health. You don't have to have a doctor at home for health. You have a doctor inside you, which is called your immune system. And that's what is important, very important, which keeps you going. Now, friends, I have told you the gist of most of things that you should know. Now I want you to ask me questions, because each one of us has a question, which is his unique question. I can't be answering everybody, because when in lecture, it is like a camp approach. Everybody has a gruel in the morning. No, but in a cafeteria approach, one wants idlis in the morning, another wants chapati, third one wants vade. So let us have your idlis or vades coming out. I'll try to see if I can give you that. And Shah Saab says the whole day is yours, so let them ask questions as they want. Okay, go on. But answers are not guaranteed. If I know the answer, I'll give you. Yes, sir. Yes, I see a hand there.
Yeah, we can circulate the mic.
Yes, I can. Absolutely right. I told you, if you have not listened to my lecture properly, I told you in the beginning itself, even most of the so-called scientific studies are not true. So don't believe any one of them.
Listen to your dil.
Yes. Questions welcome, answers not guaranteed.
My name is M.A. Khan from Unitech Power. You said all fats are good. So my question is, do you think that fat sourced from salmon fish and milk are the same for the people aged 50 plus?
Who said salmon fish fat is good? Salmon fish has protein which is good. Fat is not good. What fat did you, other fat you said? Milk.
Milk, yeah.
Yeah, milk fat is okay. I told you fat is good in moderation. That's all. Because milk fat is good, you can't take a big can of milk. A glass of milk is very good.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. How to control the mind? That's a beautiful question. I wish I knew. But I tell you something which I do, how to control the mind. Supposing my mind is jittery and is agitated, I think as to whom I have been hating or whom I have hurt and try to forgive them. Forgiveness is the best medicine for a heart, I tell you. Forgiveness is not very easy. Forgiveness requires a lot of courage. So, yeah, ego. All of us have ego. But, it's a question of grade. Yes, sir. Sadaji is a very good question. If I were you, I would forgive him forever.
How do you define the word forever actually over here? Even though there is no time span, you say, okay, एक बार गलती करी, forgive it. Second time, forgive it. If somebody is constantly, not taking you in the right spirit, how do you change that?
Nobody takes you in the right spirit, let me tell you that. And people who do mistakes keep on doing mistakes. And people who forgive keep on forgiving them. Because there's no point in fighting with them. Which one? No, it's not a question of silence. Forgiving requires positive attitude towards from you. It's not just silence. Silence is not forgiveness.
Sir?
Yeah.
Good evening. Could you just explain a little more about the Ayurveda food habits?
Who said that? Who asked that?
Yeah, me.
Yes, sir. Ayurveda food habits.
Yeah, there's a lot that says that you shouldn't mix salt with milk, or there are a lot of rules that are to be followed in the Ayurveda.
Just because Ayurveda is good, it doesn't mean everything that Ayurveda says is good. There also you have to pick and choose. No, what you're talking is not food, patya. If you go for Ayurvedic treatment, they give you a lot of restrictions in food. That's because the medicines will have to go in. That's why. Yes, sir.
Yeah. In this entire your interactions with us, you were saying that by nature and by body we are vegetarian, but nowadays we can hear about organic, inorganic, and all that stuff. Organic vegetables and the chemicals which are sprayed, pesticides which are sprayed. The vegetarians are really in danger, and they don't do the proper treatments. So what do you think about it?
I think you are right and you are wrong. Because these are things which are artificially made, man-made. And man is greedy and he makes this. All these chemical fertilizers are all greed. Man's greed. And man's greed is destroying mankind itself. But we have no choice. What else to do? You can't run away from this world. You got to live here. And I have a feeling, and I believe in that, the body will develop a method of overcoming all that. It should do that. Otherwise you can't survive.
Sir, I have got a question here.
Yeah.
You told that there is a lot of relationship between the food habit and the human nature. And
what?
Vegetarianism and the human nature.
Okay.
And in fact, this corroborates the Gita thoughts of 3 kinds of food, that is Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. But the analysis of the history, or if we can just go through, the most dreaded human on earth during the Second World War, that is Hitler, he was a vegetarian. Do you have any such kind of a research?
Who is that man?
Hitler,
Hitler, okay.
who has created so much of havoc in the entire,
Yes,
human
I
race.
never said vegetarian diet will make you a good human being. I never said that.
I'm talking about.
Hitler is basically a bad man. But that doesn't mean because he is a vegetarian, he is a good man. No. Vegetarianism doesn't make you a good man, but it makes you a tranquil man. But rules, every rule has an exception, and Hitler may be an exception.
Sir, one question.
Yes.
Vegetarian and non-vegetarian you have told. What about fish vegetarian?
What?
Fish.
Fish is non-vegetarian.
We consider it vegetarian, Bengalis. We consider it vegetarian.
Yes,
Even-
for Bengalis it is.
We offer Ma Durga also.
You offer fish as a prasad in the temple.
Prasad, yes.
I know that because once I went to a temple in Calcutta and they had given some biryani like thing which was fish biryani. I was surprised. But it's all, it's custom, that's all.
Now, whether it is good or bad, I am asking you.
Which is good or bad?
The fish eating.
Non-vegetarian food, cooked meat is bad. Even fish, if you want to healthy, you must eat raw fish. Sushi.
Hello, sir. Yeah. So,
Yes.
sir, I don't go to gym. I don't walk in the morning, but I feel healthy. I'm not like an athlete, but I feel healthy. How far it is good in long run?
God only knows because some people don't exercise at I have seen people who don't exercise at all, but they also remain healthy. Maybe in your constitution. Only God knows. There are certain questions which no man can answer.
Sir, your
I
views
wish
on
you remain healthy.
your views on vitamin D deficiency.
Today, if you go for a vitamin D test, everybody is vitamin D deficient. That's my experience. But I will be very chary of giving vitamin D easily and liberally because hypervitaminosis D is a very serious disease, more serious than cancer. So don't take unnecessarily vitamin D. I think the best vitamin D for Indians is to sit in the sun for 1 hour. You get first class D3, natural D3. Sit in the sun without your shirt for 1 hour, say between 8 and 9 or 5 and 6 in the evening. You get enough vitamin D. Don't have to take tablets. Yes. Very good. Cancer prevention. I told you, vegetarian food, tranquil mind, not hating anyone. One person wrote me a letter. If hatred is a cause of cancer, why do children get hatred? Children get cancer. Poor man doesn't know the mind of a child. Some children hate each other so much that I tell you, when a new child is born, the existing child, because its love from the parent is less, wants to kill the first child. So they hate each other so much. Hatred comes in your nature itself.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you said happiness.
Yes.
Create happiness, autoimmune problems gone, everything gone.
Yes.
What happens to people now? You said also don't eat non-veg.
Who?
You said don't have, or you don't, don't have cooked non-veg, have raw. And you also said don't have alcohol. Now, what about people who are having all this non-veg and all that?
That's a
How
good
are they
question.
going to feel happy for the rest part of their life?
That's a very good question. I will answer that in a very nice way. I had a patient who was a gentleman who was about 37 years. He had a massive heart attack. So I saw him. He was a heavy smoker, heavy drinker. And I saw him. Somehow or other he survived. Not because of me, but because of his, in spite of me, he survived. Then I told him, look, God has given you another chance to survive. Why don't you now leave those habits of drinking and smoking, etc., and live a healthy life? He just looked at me and said, in a very sarcastic way, in his own language, he said, "Adine suga ningalku engane ariya? You fool don't know the pleasures of those two things. And that's why you are advising me." That's exactly what you are saying, sir. And do you know what I told him? Yes, I don't know the pleasures, but I tell you one thing, that I am happy as I am. And he went, and for another 6 months he didn't smoke, he didn't drink, but his friends told him, the doctor is a fool, now start, you enjoy life. Without which, what is life? So he started enjoying life, and of course, met his maker in heaven after 3 months. This happens.
Sir, about D3 you mentioned.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, very nice. Half an hour to 1 hour sit in the sun. But here we talked about breakfast. And people didn't want to give more than 2 to 5 minutes. Who's going to
what?
sit in the sun?
Second part I didn't catch.
Sorry?
I didn't catch the second half of the question.
I said, yes, sitting in the sun, replacement for the D3 medication and everything
Yeah.
is very good. But here people are so busy, in their lifestyle
I
that
see.
they don't have even time for breakfast. And we narrated how much time people spend on breakfast morning. So does it really become practical to do that?
No, it is that's certainly not. If you don't have the time to sit for 1 hour in the sun, it's not the time to do that. But if you are so busy that you want to spend your life that fast, then you will go in the fast lane and end up very fast. Sorry?
You have given so much energy to us.
I have become allergic to you. What do you mean? But allergy is, definition of allergy? Altered acquired capacity to react. I have not altered my capacity to react to you in an abnormal way today. So it's not allergy.
Energy. He is saying energy.
What is he saying?
Energy. You have given so much energy.
Acha, I have given you so much energy. I am very happy about it.
Should we finish then, sir?
No, if they want to ask questions, I have no objection.
Any more questions?
Yes. Huh? Very good. Diabetes has not increased in India, but diabetes detection has increased. Today people are not left alone. In the olden days, I remember when we were medical students, a diabetic patient will come only when he has polyuria, polydipsia, or some other infection. Today, no. He simply routinely everybody is checked. So even if your sugar is slightly up because of fear, you immediately labeled a diabetic. You see, today you go out of Bangalore airport, you will see that 1 in 6 Bangalore is a diabetic. Are you one? The very thought, when you read that bunting, you will miss a beat. Then you tell your driver, go to the lab, let us check your blood pressure. Remember, if you are frightened, your kidney, blood secretes a lot of adrenaline. And adrenaline, when it goes to the liver, converts all the glycogen into glucose. So temporarily your blood sugar goes up. When the blood sugar goes up, doctor declares you are a diabetic. So you are a diabetic for statistics, but you are really not a diabetic.
Are you saying that even if you are diabetic, don't worry about it, proceed with whatever your tablets you have?
I never said that. I said if you are not a diabetic, don't make yourself a diabetic. If you are a diabetic, take care. Now, diabetes is not a big thing. You just eat less, work more, your diabetes will be controlled.
Sir, I have a question. Prakash, you have asked too many questions. So my question is, I'm here. Backbencher, last...
Hand up.
Yeah, here.
Okay.
Backbencher. You talked about D3. Supposing somebody is vitamin D deficient and doesn't have that 1 hour, do you still recommend that supplements should not be taken?
I never said that. I never said that you should not take supplement at all. All I said was, if you take supplement, you must be cocksure that you are D3 deficient. Because if you take D3 supplement when you are not deficient, you get hypervitaminosis D3, which is a very serious disease. That's what I said, if you have understood it properly.
Yeah, now I have. And the second question is on Ayurveda. You said things about Ayurveda, but we did not discuss Ayurvedic medicines. But normally, the other streams of medicines, they say that Ayurveda uses a lot of metals, which is the cause of many dangerous things in the human body.
See,
any views on that?
You see, if you want to run down somebody, you will have to use something, you know. So modern medical people will tell you that it contains metals. It is true because there are a lot of things, Ayurvedic medicines do contain metals, but if the Ayurvedic medicine is prepared scientifically, in the way it's mentioned in Ayurvedic Shastra, these metals get converted into nanoparticles and picoparticles. So they are not metals at all. They go through even kidney filter. But if they are not prepared properly, because the greed of making more money, you want to quickly prepare the medicines in a furnace, that will contain that's metals. That's why Ayurveda has got a bad name.
So one last question. See, nowadays different kind of seeds have become very popular.
What?
Like seeds.
Seeds.
Yeah, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds. They talk about sunflower seeds, hemp seeds. Whether they are really good or one should take them.
No, all seeds and nuts are good because they contain zinc and cadmium and things like that. But it doesn't mean seeds are the panacea for all illnesses. No.
Good evening, sir. Hello. Good evening, sir. This side. Hello.
Good evening, sorry, because these lights will blind me. Thank you, tell me.
Sir, in recent studies I have observed that the B12, the lack of B12, cancer due to lack of B12, it is true?
No, if you are not read that, even that study properly. B17 it says, not B12. Okay. I don't believe it.
Okay, one more question is when I go to search in Google, what are the cause of cancer? So in any case, you drink a water in a plastic bottle like that, so many things. In every reason there is a cancer cause.
See, for one thing, I tell you, this world is full of cancer-producing substances, but business community wants to keep it that way. For example, we have so much of cancer-producing chemicals even in our day-to-day makeup. Did you know that your talcum powder has got aluminium which can give us cancer? Talcum powder which you use every day, which women use. The lipstick that they use has got pro-estrogen, their breasts become big, and next generation the breast cancer comes. So there's so many things like that, but the government doesn't want to put a block. We all know that the biggest cause of cancer is tobacco. But is there any government which has got the guts to ban tobacco?
Sir, regarding health checkup, now there is a lot of myths about health checkup, especially for people like us who are, beyond 60 years old. There is a lot of pressure from family also to go for regular health checkup. So
I tell you one sentence. Health checkup is a myth because we don't have a definition of normal. What we do is average. What is the normal height of an Indian male? You take 1000 Indian males and take the mean plus 2 standard deviation, which comes to about 5.4, 5.6, 5.2. So within that we call it as normal. It's a very big mistake we do. Because if you convert the average into normal, you get about 25% false positive. So 25% more people become patients. I give a telling example. What is the normal height of a Indian male? 5.6. Amitabh Bachchan goes on check-up, 6.2. No? What the treatment we give? Cut is like and we give 5.6. So that's not the correct medicine. So don't go for a regular checkup as long as you feel well. If you don't feel well, go for a checkup. Even with the slightest problem, go to a doctor. Don't read the Google and take treatment for yourself. Even if it's a headache which you think is unusual, ask your doctor. And don't believe the Google because anybody can write anything in the Google.
Sir, your name
Sorry?
I have a question is, drinking green tea every day good for health?
I was telling a little while ago, whether it's green tea, red tea, yellow tea, all teas, I would like the masala tea. No, green tea, I don't think there's anything special about it.
So your views on radiation emitted through mobile phones?
Sorry?
Radiation emitted by mobile phones that we use. Sir, here, I'm here. Sir, here.
Very serious. Quite a lot of mobile phones emit quite a lot of radiation. And there's an epidemic of acoustic neuroma, a tumor of the eighth nerve. because some youngsters keep on, all their mohabbat and all in the phone only. If you use a phone for less than 1 minute at a given time, no radiation effect. More than that is very bad. There's an epidemic of brain tumors now.
Even, is it valid even when we use Wi-Fi on our mobile phones or laptops?
Yes, whatever it is the same. Wi-Fi, telephone. With some people have a long cord which they hang, you can see in the you must see in the plane, people having two things in there. They think that the phone is far away. No, effect is the same.
Okay.
Sorry?
Water consumption. How much?
That's a good question. I honestly don't know how much water one should consume. I have got patients who don't take water at all. They take just food. I have got people who drink a lot of water, 5 liters, 6 liters water. But on an average, it is estimated that about 30 ml of water per kilogram body weight is an ideal thing. Supposing you have about 60 kilos weight, about 2 liters of water you need. Water is very important because 98% of the molecules in the body are water.
That will finish now. That brings us to the end of this meeting.
I have one question.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, the question is regarding the type of oils. When we go to the market, actually, we see different type of oils: olive oil, mustard oil, sunflower oil. So, which type of oils we should purchase?
The best oil for food. Where's that? Yes. Yes. Olive oil is good for the Mediterranean people. The food which is grown in your own place is good for you, which your ancestors have eaten. The best oil probably for cooking is coconut oil. Have you heard of coconut oil?
Yes.
Yes, because coconut oil contains a fat which is called monolaulic acid. Human immune system is also monolaulic acid. So coconut oil is the best for human immune system.
But what about sunflower oil or mustard oil?
They're also okay, but I take only coconut oil.
So now we'll conclude the session. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we give a big round of applause to Dr. B. I request to kindly give one point to Dr. B. Sir, kindly.
Thank you.
You need help, sir?
Yeah, let's just to get
only first